Welcome to Your Studio Podcast, sharing strategies for studio owners. Chantelle and Michelle Hunter are co-CEOs of Studio Evolution, an online global community for studio owners who run dance, music, acting, visual arts, yoga, Pilates, even woodworking businesses. Over the last decade, they have transformed the lives of thousands of studio owners, helping them to create wildly successful and profitable studios, giving studio owners the life of their dreams. So welcome home, grab a cuppa, let's get started.
Hello friends, welcome back to the Your Studio podcast. It is Michelle Hunter here and Chantelle Bruinsma. And today we are so excited because we are going to jump into a strategy of marketing your studio business, which is probably still the most popular and will bring you most of your results. Isn't that right, Chantelle?
That's right. One of our lovely listeners has left us a voicemail asking us all about word of mouth. And we love receiving these voicemails. So if you've got a question you want to ask us, please flick us a note. We're going to have a listen.
I run a dance studio and I feel like I need a strong word of mouth strategy. My students say the most amazing and touching things about my classes during the sessions, but somehow it seems it doesn't reach beyond the classroom. I think I need a solid system in place to encourage them to share their experience. I would appreciate any suggestions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it.
All right, Michelle, I have a question for you. So
Sure.
What was the last service or product or restaurant or hairdresser or something like that that you recommended? What was one of the most recent ones you've done?
You know I love doing this. I will, if I like something, I will tell everybody. And I see about 100 mums a week. So my gym, I always talk about my gym. Like I always like, oh, you want a class where you can bring your children to the gym and get your pump on and they're safe.
Get your pump on.
Get your pump on. Yeah. Get your pump on and they're safe and then you can bring them with you. This really great tea, this iced tea shop that's just opened up in my little regional town, Lara. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, I just tried this like great smoothie and tea place. I'm all about it. Even like a makeup I will talk about, or like a service in a local community. I'm all about it.
What has to happen for you to be impressed? Like choose one of them and like what about it? What's been the big criteria?
Convenience. For me, my life is so busy. I love the gym because I've got classes I can bring the kids. Tick. The tea I can call, they make it. I practically just like drive in and I can still have Marley in the car and I can grab it.
You're like a Kardashian. Who are you?
Look at me go.
Look at you living
in the little town of Lara.
Bling.
Yeah. But it's for me, that's what I hold value to, right? And these services are so convenient. So if like that ticks my box, I'm around like-minded mums at school drop off and pick up, and I'm always about making that recommendation if it's convenient for me.
Question.
Yes.
Have either of those got a referral program that has incentivized you to talk about it?
Interesting. No. The gym has seasons of that, but not all the time. But really interesting. We all just recommend a whole bunch of our mums always talk about that gym.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting? You know, I think there's a lot of pressure on studio owners. Like, I think I should have a referral program and like that gives them credits or 10% discounts here or kind of merchandise or special gifts here. And honestly, my experience has been they kind of fall a bit flat. And I don't know whether you feel like this, Michelle, but is your motivation for talking to your friends about the gym or this tea place for that, right?
No, it's actually the joy of my experience. So my experience has been so great. I love talking about it, not what I'm going to get back.
So there are ways to do referral programs, Irina, really successfully. Yeah. And we're going to talk about them, but I want to kind of zoom back a tiny bit here and actually look at it from a different angle. And what I believe is that successful word of mouth is actually cultivated based on quality of experience, particularly in onboarding. right? The quality of your onboarding, they're going to come on those first 8 to 12 weeks is critical for us giving them this beautiful, magical experience where they have all of their questions met. It feels easy. It feels light. It feels kind of joyful. It feels kind of organized. The more we do that successfully and they feel connected and part of something, they feel like they belong, the more successfully we do that in those first eight weeks or so, the more that people are going to feel like, oh, this is my place. Wow, it's been a good experience. And to talk, like for me particularly, it's in those, like, you said a new tea shop has just opened up.
It was a new tea shop and they wowed me in their opening months.
It's when you go to a new studio, those first few months are when you start talking about it the most. I know you've been going to your gym for a long time, but that's probably like just comes up in conversation. But usually it's when someone starts a new activity, it's within the first 3 months that there is a higher likelihood of them talking about it. So we need to bring the wow factor for those first few months. Now, they're not going to be talking to their friends about the studio in their first 2 weeks, probably. It's kind of like they're still just settling in. Usually we found it's between that weeks 3 and week 8 that there is a more likelihood of word of mouth recommendation organically. So if you want people to talk about your studio, give them something to talk about is my phrase, right?
Yeah.
We got to give them stuff to talk about.
And how do you choreograph that, Chantelle? I'm trying to think of how do we choreograph this when we've got, like, we might not just be running a tinies class, we might be having a teens class. Like a lot of studios have different either levels or age groups, or even, some of our yoga and Pilates classes have different types. How do we create that experience, but across the board?
Well, I think for me, my perspective when we're doing onboarding strategy with clients is that we are seeking to centralize it and simplify this process as much as possible so that there is a standardized onboarding across the whole business. Even though people are going to be coming into different classes, like we need to tailor that information of like what they've got to bring or what to wear or kind of what to expect. But there's a whole level of cultural immersion that we can't forget too. It's like we're initiating them into this is who we are, this is what we stand for, this is what you can expect, here's what you're going to receive, here's how to talk about us. Like all of those things we can actually be more proactive in. Yeah. I think a lot of onboarding when it comes to studios, they do this giant info dump at the beginning and they'll send their handbook of information and it's like 27 pages of facts that that they never read. And then you always get the emails of like, can you please tell me about your makeup policy? And you're like, it's on page 17. No one ever freaking reads page 17. It's like, of course they're not going to read page 17. No. Like they can't absorb that much information. So it's kind of reworking how we communicate to the new students in those early weeks in a way that makes them feel really prepared and really clean. I forgot your question. What was your question?
How do we choreograph it over so centralized communication?
Right. So we're thinking about over those 12 weeks, there's a few things we have to do. We have to know, like we want them to understand particular things, where the best place is to park, what dates to put in the diary, what to wear, how to do a makeup lesson, like all of those things are really, really important. But then also it's really important that we get them believing things about who this business is. Like the more you can present that kind of higher picture, like what we call the mission, like the more you're kind of like, this is where your student's going to go. We kind of plant the seed of the retention of like, you're going to grow into this and this is what you're going to be as part of the studio. We're not just teaching you these things. We're also helping build resilience and confidence and kind of like these values are really important to us. The more you use these words and like, this is our simple payment process. This is our easy timetable for families. This is the most convenient parking. The more you kind of use and reiterate the words you want them sharing, that will be absorbed in. We also really want to make sure in those first 8 to 12 weeks, we have facilitated friendships. We've built a sense of belonging. We've tried to get people to make friends. Because if you can get people to make friends in their first few weeks, they're going to feel more at home, more connected. There's less of a risk of them kind of walking back out the door. So really trying to prioritize like a buddy system or something like that is going to very much help. And then on top of that, we have these little kind of things that are happening in the studio with the new student. And then we can like really just drip feed out the communication, like take out your information pack and just chunk it out. I can send a dedicated email that's only about makeup policy. Send another email of like the easiest place to park before they come. Really thinking through what they've got to know in what order, but don't just give them the surface level details of what to wear, what to do, right? Teach them what we believe, teach them what they're going to experience, and let them know they're very welcome. Like, you're now one of us. You know, you're part of this studio family, and we would love nothing more for you to kind of introduce us to people in your world so we can share this magic with them as well. Be more proactive about inviting them and asking them, right, Michelle? Like, you can literally just ask more. Tell them what you want them to do.
And we've seen this done really creatively. You can be creative in this process of the drip feeding. We've seen some videos being done that pop into their inbox and in the groups that they might manage with the parents and the new parents. It can be done really creatively. It doesn't have to be just, the standard text-filled email.
Yeah, I don't think people want things for referring you. I think that they want to just feel connected and part of something, and then they just do it happily and naturally. So if you can knock their socks off with the service and the quality of experience you deliver in the first 8 to 12 weeks, I believe, and my experience has been, that your word of mouth does increase organically.
Yeah.
You can also do... there's one, we'll share what we do. Okay, we'll share our word of mouth strategy. And this is really taking off right now. We call this the golden tag, and studios have amended our approach incredibly successfully. Okay, so we have a program. Do you want to talk about this, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have this program called the golden tag, and the intention behind it is for our studio owners within our evolution community and in our program just to tag us, as it says, golden tag. So to tag us, it might be on socials, it might be on Instagram, it might be on Facebook, it might be on their stories. They could even send an email just to tag about their experience here at Studio Evolution. And you might see some tags even on our socials as you're listening to this podcast of them opening up their pillar boxes, going through their resources for retreat. They might be having a CEO day with their, beautiful companions or one of the binders that are sitting behind Chantelle, and they will tag us. And actually what actually happens is every studio owner who tags us in something, our profile, they go into the draw to win the golden tag. And every time they make an entry, they just forward their entry to an dedicated email address on our home team. And it counts as an entry into the big prize, which if we draw a winner from all the people who've put in their entries for the golden tag, to win a golden ticket to Horizon House. And that is working with Chantelle and I over 5 days this year in Koh Samui in Thailand.
Yeah, it's worth $5,500.
$5,500. It is a big bonanza. So you can imagine the Studio Evolution members, that's a dream, right, Chantelle? It's a dream for them to attend this event. And the tags go crazy, don't they, Chantelle?
It's really fun to see. So the competition, I know on a podcast you can't see this, but on the video I'm holding up are literally golden luggage tags. So they win. We've had these made. They're golden luggage tags with Horizon, with H on it, Horizon House. And it's very simple, but again, we're letting the members know when they join, it's safe for you to talk about us.
Yeah.
And it's safe for you to kind of tag us on a post. It's safe for you to kind of put pictures up and share these experiences. You're letting them know it's okay to share. And part of that could be something you might be able to increase as well, like whether there is a share wall at your studio, kind of like you do a fabulous fun decal that is like, you're creating opportunities for like, share on socials and tag us. And you kind of have a decal for your studio handle. Be more creative in inviting them, let them know that it's safe. Come on, share, bring us into your socials, in your world. The coolest thing about studio businesses is you are local businesses.
Yeah.
So everyone's in your area. There's a whole lot of people at the school gate, at the cafe, at the gym who are connected and have those relationships. But you got to give them something to talk about. That's the secret. And you got to let them know it's okay for them to talk about it too. It's really important.
It's so true. And it's like looking at it differently, isn't it? It's not just like here's a thing, go out and tell your friends about it. Like, where's the incentive, right? If you're just saying, hey, I got all these passes, if you want to like just bring a friend, where's the incentive to talk about it or bring them in on the experience, the wonderful experience? And if you do the onboarding right, that your students are going to feel in your studio.
The other thing you can really play with is the wow factor within those kind of initial weeks. We've got some clients who do fabulous kind of box reveals. So they'll kind of give the new student a box. It might be opening a little pack with a journal or some grippy socks or, a little tiny tutu, teddy tutu, something like that. And then on the box is that thing of like film the response, film the unboxing, right? And then like put it on social and tag us and you'll go in the draw to win a trip. So, again, it's like creating those moments that are capturable, that people can share. Like the more you invite that into your world. There's a place in Sydney, a cafe called The Grounds, and it is like a hot spot for influencers because they create these wonderful kind of floral masterpieces and immersive kind of themed worlds that people are attracted to be able to take photos of and share. Let's get better at it. If you want people to talk about you, give them something to talk about. That's the reality.
That's the reality. And we are also, we say unfortunately, but also fortunately, we're in a climate where a lot of our students and their mums are online and on social media. So if you can make this fun and they want to talk about it and share it, the reach is so much further, isn't it, Chantelle?
Yeah. And look, you don't have to, like with this whole golden tag strategy, you don't have to give it a trip to Thailand. Like, you don't have to do that. Take the idea, but make it your own. You might give them a birthday party. You might give them,
a mum pamper night. One time we had that went crazy. We saw with that studio.
Oh my gosh, so fun. Even people have done like, a babysitting night. It could cost nothing. Other studios do like they'll rent an Airbnb and twice a year they'll give a 2-night little vacation on the beach for a family to go to. It might cost them $400 for the studio, but they get huge amount of traction in making this happen. So again, it's just that whole idea of let them know that this is what we do. We talk about the studio and we share it with our friends. The more consistent you are, the more it will kind of pick up pace. Well, it does take a little while. This is our 3rd year of running Golden Tag. And now it's really just the momentum is there. And how grateful are we for the free marketing, Michelle? How grateful are we?
So grateful, so grateful. And you'll find that the more you stick it out and the longer, word of mouth will become a big source of your marketing when it comes in. If you get it right and give them something to talk about and give them the permission, it works really, really well.
It does start in onboarding. This is a real call to action for you all to really explore your onboarding process and get that dialed in and make sure those first 8 weeks have the connection points and the kind of check-ins and the little moments of magic that just take them to another level, that make them feel confident and calm and like they really belong in business. So those first 3 months are really, really, really important. So play with them. We do a whole project on that in Studio Evolution, and I kind of really work out my intentions for the first kind of 12 weeks for every new student in your studio with you, which is a very powerful project to do. But right now, just have a little play with that, right? It's worth spending some time on.
100%. And if you want to know a little bit more about what we do here at Studio Evolution and those 6 binders that are just right behind Chantelle, applications are now open into our 2-year program, Studio Evolution.
And this is where we cover all facets of studio business. We go deep into the absolute foundations that your business needs to be incredibly successful. And within 2 years, it is completely transformational on the results of your business and how you live your life as a studio owner. It is like a ticket to freedom, a ticket to having the results and the success that you've always wanted in your business. It's working with really highly experienced mentors who are experts in studio strategy and getting that personalized guidance to give you the progress and the speed of results that you've probably been looking for. We get in there, we clean everything up, we get your marketing churning, we turn on the taps of growth in your business, we're going to look at your profitability, we're going to get your systems really immaculate for growth and get your team really cohesive so that you're ready to go to the next level. And once you've done all that, it just happens. So all you have to do is fill in a little application form, and this is for our team to read, and we can see if we are a good fit for you. And from there, you can have a chat with one of our graduates, and then you can get started and join our foundations program and start your first pillar, and your life will never be the same. It is utterly life-changing. So all you have to do is go to studioevolution.com/apply to fill in this short application form and to see whether this program is a really good fit for you. You will never look back. No. And because when you do this program, and we do have all of the onboarding and the retention and the systems kind of elements dialed in, we often find that the level of marketing you need to do decreases, right? How we're going to know if you're successful in your business is if we don't have to market as much, because the volume of word of mouth is actually kind of taking over from marketing. That's my goal for you. Like when you join this program, there are studios, graduates we have who don't have to do marketing because we've been so successful at word of mouth strategy, which starts with your onboarding. So come into Studio Evolution, learn the secrets of the trade. There's a lot of fun to be had, and we'd love to share them with you.
And thanks, friends, for today. And we will see you next time on the next episode of Your Studio Podcast. Bye.
Bye, lovely ones.
Love what you hear? Make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and leave us a review. Interested in working with us and want to find out more about how we can help you? Head to studioevolution.com/start.